All right, let's dive into a really chilling story today. We're heading to this quiet, remote village called Bairavpur. Now, this place is haunted, but not by something you can see. It's haunted by a sound you literally can't escape. This is the story of the Ahat.
So picture this. You're in Bhairapur. It's late at night and everything is dead quiet. And then you hear it. Footsteps. But here's the thing. These aren't just any footsteps. They sound like they're right there. But when you look, there's no one. It's this phantom presence, just stalking the village. And believe me, it sends a shiver down the spine of anyone who hears it.
And this sound? It's at the very heart of this deep, creeping fear in the village. I mean, it's a total mystery, right? There's no logical explanation for it. It's this echo that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere all at the same time. And everyone knows it by just one name.
The aha. And let me tell you, it's so much more than just a noise. It's an experience. It's like a personal haunting tailored just for you. People who hear it say they feel like they're being watched, like they're being followed, hunted. And the scariest part, once you hear it, that's when the real terror actually begins.
Now, this isn't just some one-off spooky story about a single person. Oh no, the terror of the Ahat, it's indiscriminate. It just spread through Bhairapur like a virus, affecting everyone, from the bravest souls to the most tormented. And yeah, even the hardcore skeptics who thought it was all a bunch of nonsense.
So it all really kicks off with this girl, Raina. She's brave, she's curious, and she takes a dare to go into this creepy old mansion on the edge of town. And as she's inside, her flashlight catches something impossible. She sees her shadow on the wall. But wait, it's not alone. There's a second shadow moving right alongside hers, copying her every move. And that's it. That's the first time she hears it, the Ahat.
Then we have Raghu, the local barber. He's just walking home one night, normal stuff. But then he gets that feeling that you're being followed. The footsteps behind him get faster and faster, and when he finally whips around to look, he sees it. A figure, all in white with these glowing green eyes. He bolts, just runs for his life. But this whisper follows him, saying, "Your time has come." The next morning, they find Raghu completely broken, just rambling, driven totally mad by what he experienced.
Okay, but this is what really gets me. The Arahat didn't just go after people who were already scared. It went after the skeptics. Take Aniruddha, the schoolmaster. He thought all these stories were just superstition, total nonsense. But then one night, he's walking past that mansion, and he hears these heavy, heavy boots crunching on the gravel right behind him. He spins around, and there's nothing there. And then a cold whisper right in his ear says, "You can't escape." In that one moment, all his skepticism just gone, shattered.
The fear in the village got so bad that the authorities had to step in. They sent this police officer, DCP Arvind, a super rational, no-nonsense kind of guy, basically to prove it was all a hoax. So he's in the mansion shouting that it's all fake, and then he hears the footsteps on the stairs above him. And then he feels it, this cold, heavy hand on his shoulder. He turns. Nobody. The man of the law himself just became the newest victim.
So now you have all these people united by this shared terror. They realize they can't just keep living in fear. They decide enough is enough. The only way to stop this nightmare is to go right to the source, that creepy old mansion.
So you get this really unlikely team, right? Raina, the brave kid, Aniruddha, the now former skeptic, and DCP Arvind, the lawman. They form this desperate alliance. They're convinced that the answers, the source of the Ahat, has to be hidden somewhere deep inside that mansion. And they all agree on where to look. The one place no one wants to go, the dark cellar.
And as they're making their way down into that cellar, their flashlights cut through the darkness and land on something scrawled on the damp wall. It looks like blood. And the message says it's impossible to escape the Ahat. This wasn't just some random haunting anymore. This was a direct threat. But what they found down there was more than just some evil spirit. Deep in that cellar, they started to piece together this horrible tragedy from 100 years ago, the event that created this curse in the first place. See, the Ahat wasn't just some random evil. It was born from real pain, from a terrible betrayal. It turns out, 100 years ago, a woman named Lalita lived in that mansion. Her husband, just consumed by greed for her money, did something absolutely unthinkable. He buried her alive, right there, inside the walls of the cellar. Can you imagine?
Her final moments were spent just pacing back and forth in that tiny space, her footsteps echoing. And those final, desperate footsteps, that's what became the ahats. It's an eternal echo of her anger and her pain.
So now they have the backstory. They know the why. And with that, they think they know how to end the curse. The plan seemed logical, right? You destroy the spirit's physical connection to our world. It was a really solid plan. Except, it wasn't nearly good enough.
So DCP Arvind, the logical cop, comes up with the plan. The thinking was, if Lalita's spirit is attached to her body, which is buried in the mansion walls, then if we destroy the mansion, we destroy the body, and we break that connection. Simple. Burn the whole place to the ground and hopefully silence that echo for good.
And you know what? At first, it looked like it worked. They torched the mansion. And in the days that followed, this weird peace settled over Barifpur. For the first time in forever, the nights were just silent. Everyone in the village breathed this huge sigh of relief. The nightmare, they thought, was over. But they were wrong.
Yeah, that peace didn't last long. They'd made one huge, terrifying mistake about what Lalita's curse actually was.
I mean, from their point of view, they did everything right. They burned down the place she died. They destroyed the very ground she was betrayed on. They figured they had done everything they possibly could to finally bring her peace and save their village.
But here's the fatal flaw in their logic. They destroyed a building. But the Ahat was never about the building. It's a sound, an echo. And that leads to a really big question, right? How can you burn a sound?
And just a few nights later, Reina is in a room, far away from the rubble of the mansion, just trying to get back to normal. And then she hears it. It starts faint, but it gets louder and louder. That slow, deliberate, unmistakable sound of footsteps. But this time, they were coming from inside her own room. The Ahat was back.
And this is the truly terrifying conclusion. They had it all wrong. Lalita's curse was never tied to the mansion. It was tied to the people who heard it. The Ahat isn't a ghost that haunts a place. It's a curse, an echo that latches onto you the moment you hear it, and then it follows you forever.
So yeah, they destroyed the building, but they couldn't destroy the sound itself. It really leaves you with this deeply unsettling thought, doesn't it? What if some echoes, what if some tragedies just aren't meant to fade away?